So you know, Russ, that one of my favorite days in this house, because I mean, this is an old house. This house was built in like 1901, 1902.
Yeah.
Some discrepancy. It says technically 1901. So our house was built in 1901. And one of my absolute favorite days was,
When
do you know?
got carpet.
Yes, when we got carpet upstairs.
I know, because when you bought the house, you had to rip all the old carpet out.
Oh, it wasn't just carpet. It was carpet on top of tile.
Wow.
And I don't know if it was asbestos tile, but I believe that the sticky stuff they used underneath it may have been asbestos when I got it all up. And later on, because I wasn't an agent at that time and I didn't know about asbestos and the stuff to look for, I think it was actually that asbestos black, because the glue was black. But yes, one of my favorite days in this house was the day that we got carpet up here in the upstairs area. And I think one of my next favorite days is going to be when we get new flooring in the kitchen and when we get new flooring in the bathroom upstairs here. Those are going to be two other great days. And that kind of leads us into what we're talking about today, which is
flooring.
Yeah, the top 5 things, top 5 types of flooring that are available and that people use on a regular basis, and the pros and cons for each of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So stick around. We'll be right back and talk about those top 5 flooring types.
Prepared to be floored.
Yeah. Here we go.
All right, so I know a lot of people, should we start at the top, number 1, or should we start at the bottom, number 5? I feel like we should start at number 5.
Yeah, why not?
We? Okay, so let's start at number 5. So number 5 most popular type of flooring, and a lot of people don't think about this necessarily.
They don't.
But it is concrete flooring.
Yeah.
And
Because you can do an awful lot too, concrete floors.
Absolutely.
You can actually polish it.
Yep.
You can paint it.
Yep.
You can put resin over the top of it, like in garages, but you can also do it in a house.
Yes, we've seen it actually done. Well, you can do it in a basement, which is great. If you have a basement rec room area and you just want to throw down like area rugs and stuff on top of it, it is perfect in a basement because you can do those really cool resin treatments nowadays.
Yeah, and it's so easy to clean then.
Staining concrete. I mean, a lot of people will put down concrete and they'll get it kind of... And concrete is something you can almost do yourself. Like if you have a moderate level of skill...
You can get self-leveling concrete and you can actually lay it down, and you can even have it stamped. So if you wanted that tile effect...
Yes, you could.
You can do that as well.
Yes. I mean, we see it on concrete walls all the time, but people just don't think about concrete being a flooring.
Yeah.
But it absolutely is a great flooring type because it's highly durable and easy to clean. And especially in Wisconsin, in older homes like ours, where sometimes you do get backups of water or, you know, have a really bad rainstorm and something happens. Well, concrete floor is perfect for that.
And if it's a new floor that's going in, you can even have underfloor heating.
Yes, absolutely.
So, which is great.
We've seen that in new construction where concrete floors have had that radiant heat underneath them or inside of them.
We've even seen it in a garage. We sold a house.
Yes, we did. We've seen it in a garage as well. So I think it'd be great in a basement to have radiant heating underneath the floors.
Yeah.
In a basement, that'd be awesome because you wouldn't even have to leave it on all the time. It could be something that you could turn on or turn off based on, and if you already have a radiator in the house, you can actually do that. If you already have a boiler as your heating system.
Imagine if you have to work on your car in the garage and it's got underfloor heating while you're laying under the car.
Well, and I know that the guy who house we sold, he put it in his because he loved the fact that it melted, that by having it on when he came home from work, it melted the snow right off of his car, went straight to a floor drain in the garage, and then just took it all away. And he just loved that because it meant his cars were always dry as well on the outside, which does preserve a car for longer, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. So concrete flooring, really great. I mean, it's very inexpensive. If you have to have somebody else come in because you want to do something special to it, like a resin treatment or something, it's going to cost you a little bit more. But if you're doing it yourself, it's super inexpensive.
Yeah, and it's pretty cheap. I mean, prices range from about $2 to about $30 a square foot. So it's not that expensive. And
well, $30 a square foot is pretty expensive.
Yeah, but that's in like if you have the treatments done, the paint,
Right. Well, that's if you're paying somebody who's a real specialist and having painted and treatments and stamping, and that's like the full-blown luxury level concrete.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can do it, pretty much everybody falls within the $2 to $5 per square foot range, and yet it's so durable. I think that's the thing that people are not remembering is that, okay, so it's not the cheapest, but it is so durable it will last decades, as opposed to almost any other flooring you put in is not going to last decades.
Yeah, it's great for high traffic areas and stuff like that because you know, it's not going to wear down.
Yep. So number five is concrete flooring. All right. Number 4. Now, a lot of people think it's out of fashion because it's not as cool, but number 4 is carpet. And with carpet, of course, you've got all sorts of options. Now, the weirdest place, and we would never recommend that you do this, do not put carpet in your bathroom. So what's interesting is the same house we sold that had the underfloor heating concrete garage floor also had carpet in the bathroom.
No, it was a special carpet.
Supposedly
for bathrooms. But a lot of people, but that consensus made that house of people looking at the house as soon as they saw a carpet was ooh,
gross. And we women, we know what you men do in bathrooms. Well, let's put it this way. Most men miss the mark. And in carpet, that's just gross.
Yes. So
not good at all. And so because of that, do not put carpet in your bathroom. Do not put carpet in your bathroom. Do not put carpet in your bathroom. However, I think carpet is really underrated because people don't realize how inexpensive it is.
Yeah, it can be really cheap. I mean, I looked up prices and they range from like 73 cents a square foot to like $3 a square foot.
Absolutely.
It's not expensive.
And now, obviously, if you add padding or more luxury padding and things like that, you are going to up the price. But $3, that's like the $3 to $5 is pretty much the top end. Like a $5 per square foot carpet is a pretty top end type, Berber carpet that's really, really good. And that's actually really inexpensive in the realm of flooring, though. In the realm of flooring, $5 a square foot as your top end is awfully good. And it is a really quick, simple solution. Now, obviously, that doesn't count the installation. And you do want to hire someone.
Pay a carpet fitter.
And carpet is one of those things that you just don't want to do it yourself, really. Unless you are skilled at doing carpet, it is really something that is a skill. And the reason is because you've got to have those carpet stretchers that really push it all the way to the edges and keep that carpet taut. So that's the downside. You do need to pay for installation.
That takes out any bubbles that may appear and stuff
now
this, like that.
And this is going to date us a little bit because it was before COVID, but we had our entire upstairs, both of our bedrooms done, including paying them to move the big furniture. Like they had to move the big furniture out of the rooms to put the carpet in. We did all the smaller furniture, but they moved like the big furniture into our bathroom. Then they did the carpet in one room, put the furniture back in here, and then pushed it into the other. But our entire upstairs, which was 2 bedrooms and a hallway, paying them for installation for a mid-grade carpet with a really nice pad and moving our stuff for us, which cost us an extra, I think it was an extra $200 for them to move everything for us on the day and put everything back. That total all in cost us less than $2,000.
Yeah.
Now, I am dating myself. I think it'd probably be closer to $3,500 now, but still to have the entire upstairs, and they even carpeted one of our closets because we said, yes, that's a big walk-in closet, carpet that closet. We didn't have them do the other closet because it was so tiny and narrow, but we also ended up with extra.
We ended up with a big lump. We have a big extra. Finish that if we wanted to.
In fact, if I turn the camera around, I'm looking at that big strip of carpet that is there, and we could totally just cut that and lay it in the other closet if we wanted to, just as an extra
padding. And it's great because it dampens sound.
Oh, that's what carpet's great for.
It keeps it warm.
Absolutely.
So it's nice if you get up in the night, you know, to use the restroom.
Yeah, no, you're not happy. You're happy when you get up and out of bed in the middle of the night because you're stepping on carpet. But then when you walk into the bathroom, you're hitting that cold linoleum.
Yeah.
So,
you know, for a long time we had just subfloor there. So
it's
a big improvement on that.
Big improvement on that,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. So number 4 on our list of top 5 is carpet. Yeah, absolutely. We love carpet. Number 3,
Tile.
tile.
Yeah.
So tile is great, but you have to be careful because there's a couple of things. First of all, a lot of people think they know how to lay tile and they don't.
Yeah.
And the second thing you have to keep in mind is that tile is great in areas that have concrete underneath them, and it's a much easier thing to lay. So if you want to tile your basement floor, totally makes sense. Put it over top of that old concrete and it'll look great and it'll be awesome. And you don't have to be highly skilled for tile in a basement or in a garage.
No.
But when you start putting tile over top of wood subfloors.
Yeah, as I know because I've done it.
And what happens, Russ?
Well, I laid a slate tile floor.
Right?
In
and
my
slate's more
bathroom
durable.
in the UK.
Yep, and slate is actually harder.
Quite large tiles as well.
Yep.
And you can't walk on it for a little while, and when you've only got one bathroom, you have to.
That's a problem when you're laying it yourself.
Problem. But also, the other thing that was a big problem is over time there must have been a slight air pocket under one of them.
Right.
And you'd walk on it and it cracked.
Yeah.
And then you've got to chase it all out.
Yep.
Take all the adhesive out to be able to relay another one, and then that cracked. Yeah.
Well, and this is the thing is that if you have wood framing floors, you have to really put down almost a concrete board or something over top as your subfloor. You really need to put down a concrete board as your subfloor so that it has something that's not going to flex.
Yeah, because that was the problem is the wood floor flexes.
Right.
With
and
temperature
tile does not
change and
just with pressure.
Walking on it.
Yeah. That's what wood does. Wood always flexes when we step on it, which is nice. That's great, but it's not so great when
you've got something rigid over the top.
Yes, when you have tile on top and there's even a slight pocket and you step in if it flexes too much, which you see more in the center of a bathroom than you would in the other places, then absolutely. Then you've got this pocket and all of a sudden now you have a bunch of cracked tiles. Yeah. So if you are going to do it yourself, make sure you study up how to do it because tile floor can be absolutely beautiful, but if there's any pressure on it, there's any pockets of air, it will crack like nobody's business. Mm-hmm. And then it's a mess to try and then especially since it's used in places like kitchens and bathrooms primarily, the problem is bathrooms are places where people are barefoot. And you really don't want cracked tile in a bathroom because that can cut up your feet. You get out of the shower and just catch it wrong and it can actually cut your feet or your kids.
I had, got a professional to lay it.
Yeah.
Because I did in my kitchen and that I never had any problems, but that was a concrete floor.
Right. Well, the price though is still not that expensive though. It's anywhere between $1. Now you can get really luxury tile up to $20 a square foot. So, but you can get tile as cheap as like $1 a square foot. You can still find that in places like Home Depot and Menards. It's just the really cheap
And when we're saying
tile,
we're not talking about vinyl tiles.
No. We're talking about ceramic.
We're talking about ceramic, porcelain.
Right. If you get to the top end, you're looking at porcelain. Now, porcelain is one of the most durable. People don't really know this, but porcelain tile is extremely durable.
And you can get so many different colors and prints and plain, different designs.
Yes, absolutely. So if it's a really good tile, it will have a lot more durability. It'll be very thick. It'll be very heavy. And that's the other thing you need to keep in mind is that people don't realize that we talk about things like, don't cut your trusses and things like that in a house. But if you put in too much heavy tile in a house that's not properly, where the joists are not like spaced narrowly and be able to bear that load, that can actually impact the tile as well.
And do also bear in mind that if ever you got a leak or anything like that in a bathroom area, for instance, you're having to either take that up.
Possibly, yes.
To get to a leak, or you're going to have to go through the ceiling.
Yes, absolutely.
From downstairs.
Yep, from below it if you can.
Yeah.
Right. So, but tile, like ceramic tile, those are very, very popular still. Just we would recommend having a professional do it, unless you are the professional who does this. Then of course you're a professional. Do it yourself in your own home. But unless you are really good, so it's not as DIY friendly as some of the other things.
No.
But number two, and this is something that has changed dramatically in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And number two, most popular, is vinyl. Vinyl tile. Right, exactly. So vinyl tile is really great because it comes in so many options. So you can have sheet vinyl, which is, of course, what most people think of. Really inexpensive. Put down a big sheet of vinyl, cut it around the pieces, and boom, Bob's your uncle, you've got a new floor in your bathroom. Or boom, you've got a new floor in your kitchen. Put a bit of adhesive underneath it. And if you get the more cushy type of vinyl flooring that has a little padding underneath it, it can actually be very, very comfortable. And of course, the advantage of the sheet vinyl is that you don't have any like spaces where gaps can occur.
No.
So, but probably the most popular right now is not sheet vinyl.
No, you can get vinyl planking, you can get vinyl tile, you can get so many different types of vinyl to lay down.
When I first bought this house, the kitchen floor here was absolutely horrific. It was filthy, it was gross. I tried to clean it really well. It never got clean. And so I knew it wasn't going to be my permanent solution, but it was a great temporary solution. I just went and got square vinyl tiles, with adhesive backing, peel off the backing, stick them down. Now, over time, because the floor underneath it wasn't great and I could not get all the dirt up from it or all the cracks and things, some of those tiles would like shift a little bit as the adhesive warmed up, but it gave me like an instant new clean floor that it made me feel better. I knew I couldn't afford to completely redo the kitchen floor, but that was a really nice like temporary. Yeah. And then a few years after that, it was after we got married, wasn't it? Yeah. That we did and then after that we went ahead and we pulled up those little sticky tiles. Yeah. And we ended up putting down a wood vinyl planking over top of what was there. Yeah. But the wood vinyl planking, it was again just an adhesive backed wood vinyl planking, but I think because they were planks, they didn't shift it. Like the squares were completely square lined up, and
because it was a wood grain effect.
Yes,
it didn't look out of place. If one did start moving, I put a nail through it.
Yes, exactly. You could just put a nail, because there was a point in our floor, and there is still a point in our floor where the floor drops a little bit, and the vinyl planking obviously isn't going to stay down. So you just put a couple of nails, but it fit in.
It looked effective.
It looked as if you just were nailing a wood floor. Yeah, right, exactly. And it wasn't a lot of them. It was just a few.
And it wasn't until we had the kitchen changed and we did all the kitchen, all new units and a new, staircase and stuff like that
we pulled up the really old floor. Yeah. Right. And we're still working with subfloor in that kitchen, but we are probably going to go with something like a luxury vinyl planking, or even possibly just the sticky back stuff. We just haven't gotten around to it because we have some other projects that unfortunately came up in the meantime. Yeah. We have a bathroom that started leaking. We won't even talk about that. But anyway, so that's our current project we're working on. It's not a pipe leak, a leak from outside in, in the wall. So anyway, we've had to tear that open, and that's our current project. But our kitchen floor will definitely be some type of probably a luxury vinyl planking or just a sticky back vinyl planking.
Definitely, yeah. I really liked the vinyl planking that we had down before.
Yeah, I do too. I would actually be completely happy with that again. Yeah. The problem is we ran out of time to do, first of all, we ran out of money in the kitchen project, which was not a big deal because we pulled up all the old floor before we put the new cabinets in, and we put in all new subfloor, which was a very good thing to do. Yeah. It kind of patched up all the holes we had, all the problems, and that was excellent. But now what we're living with subfloor at the moment. And so I think that luxury, but then we ran out of time, first we ran out of money, then we got really busy and ran out of time, then we also we're a little bit tight on our budget. It's like we've gone back and forth. We're either too busy or too broke. It's one of those two things, and we just haven't gotten it done yet.
So we understand where you're coming from on, financially being able to do these projects.
Yes.
but that's
or
one for
too
the
busy,
future.
or
Yeah,
too busy,
or too
because
busy.
that's kind of like one of those things. So, but number 2 is vinyl planking, that or vinyl floors of various types, whether they're planking, whether they're square tiles,
or
sheets of vinyl. It's an
Yeah.
extremely popular. But number 1, what is the number 1 type of flooring that people love? And I think probably anybody who's watching this far in probably is already guessing. And guys, if you found any value in our content, do us a favor, click like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content. We would appreciate that. We are seeing the channel grow, and we're very excited about that.
And drop a comment.
Yeah, drop a comment about what your favorite type of flooring is. But let's get to number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1,
Is
top type of,
hardwood.
number 1 type of flooring that people still prefer above everything else.
Yeah,
hardwood
because
floors.
it just looks so good.
It does. Even the really old stuff that needs to be refinished just looks better.
Yeah, and that is one of the top things is you can refinish it.
Yes, absolutely.
Apart from concrete floors, none of the others can be refinished.
No.
You can paint tile,
painting tile is really weird.
Floor tiles is not. Wall tiles,
you can't paint carpet. Carpets, once
no.
a carpet is stained, it's stained, and there's nothing much you can do about it. You can maybe cut out a patch and patch it in if it's really badly stained, but most of the time, once a carpet gets stained, it's stained, and you got to replace the whole carpet, which is not cool. So even though a carpet could be durable, even if it's stain resistant doesn't mean unstainable.
No, it certainly
and
doesn't.
vinyl can sometimes, I can remember my dad, we actually had a carpet we had a throw rug at the back of our kitchen door for a long time, because we had a little grease fire on the stove once, and my dad grabbed the pan of fiery grease and tried to throw it out the back door. He did throw it out the back door, but on the way out the back door, some of the grease landed on our vinyl floor, and there was a bit of a scorch spot there for years and years and years. And so I can still remember. So vinyl floor, it can scorch, but it can burn even just with, like, if you have a pop of grease come out, it can actually melt your kitchen. Like,
and
that
it
can melt.
Fade in certain areas.
It does. It absolutely fades.
Yeah, the lighter colours on vinyl floors can yellow over time.
Yep, they can yellow. The darker colors will fade.
Yeah.
You'll see different coloration changes. Yep, absolutely. So that hardwood. Now, the problem with hardwood is that you don't usually put it in kitchens because wood will soak up water.
Yes.
But you can. Because here's the thing, is that most people are not pouring water over their kitchen floor.
No.
And you can put hardwood floor. People have this idea that you can't put hardwood floors in your kitchen. You absolutely can if you seal them.
Yeah.
And that's
they
the
do
key.
need to be sealed.
Yes. Put that coat of, put a bunch of, instead of putting, so in a regular room, you might put 5 or 6 coats of poly on it in, like, say, a living room or something for durability. Put 10 coats in the kitchen, and you've probably sealed that down really, really well. Yeah. And it doesn't mean you have to have a shiny, glossy finish, though.
No, you can do matte as well.
Because they have matte finish poly now.
Yeah.
So if you want that matte finish in your kitchen and you want hardwood floors in your kitchen, you can still do hardwood floors in a kitchen.
And you can always, if you wish to protect it, put a rug down over the top, like a little runner.
Yeah. I've seen some kitchens where the design,
the main traffic area is.
Or even it just kind of looks really nice. And and a lot of people put down a carpet in front of the sink anyway, or a pad in front of the sink that makes it
where
easier.
there's likely to be moisture.
Well, they don't do it for that reason, but a lot of people will put a pad in front of the sink or in front of the stove if they stand there a lot, because it has a little cushion to it.
Yeah.
Whereas vinyl flooring or tile flooring doesn't have any cushion and can be really hard on somebody who's a serious. Well, I don't, because I don't wash dishes. But people who wash dishes would stand in front.
That's what you have a dishwasher for.
That's why I have a dishwasher. But a lot of people don't have a dishwasher.
Okay.
Yeah, see, in some people's houses, a dishwasher is an optional extra. Not for me.
It's essential.
It's an essential. But we do stand in front of our stove quite a bit.
We do.
Because we do batch cooking and we do a lot of that type of cooking. So having a nice comfortable pad, and that's what a lot of people do. They'll put hardwood floors in the kitchen or in every room, because it is nice too with an open concept. It's nice not to have the transitions of different, and that is something we should mention about flooring. When people are looking at houses, if they see a transition from this type to this type to this type, if they see 3 or 4 types of flooring in one single house, or even we've seen 4 types of flooring or 4 different floors
coming off of one hallway
in one level of a house, like on just a main level.
Yeah.
They had a laminate floor, which is a type of vinyl. It was like a type of vinyl, like laminate. And it was like a vinyl floor. It wasn't a laminate type floor. We haven't really talked about laminate because laminate's kind of going out of style because of the fact that luxury vinyl planking is about the same price as laminate and does not have the problems with delamination that laminate has. So luxury vinyl planking has kind of replaced the laminate floors because they can do so much with vinyl now. But it had laminate floors. It had tile. It was transitioned from one room into tile in another room. Yep. Then it transitioned to another type of vinyl. And then it transitioned to carpet in the bedroom. And you could see all of them in one view. Like you could see all 4. And it was all like
off of the hallway.
And it was like you could see all 4. It just looked really odd.
Yeah.
So consistency, people like that. And so when you have just a main level and maybe you want to have hardwood floors throughout your dining area and your living room and you're just going to use area rugs, it's nice to have that continuity to be able to put the hardwood floor in your kitchen. You can do it. Now, one of the main reasons people don't is partly because they're afraid of the water aspect, but also because there is a cost to hardwood. Hardwood is one of the most expensive starting points. It starts at about $3 for the really inexpensive and then goes up from there.
Yeah.
So it starts at $3, whereas vinyl starts at like $1.50 and carpet starts at like 75 cents.
Yeah, and when we say hardwood, we're not talking about engineered hardwood because you cannot refinish that.
Right. But see, that is the advantage to hardwood as well. One of the big pros to hardwood is its durability. Also, in wood-framed houses, it will flex with the wood, like your wood subfloors. So when the wood subfloors flex a little bit, your hardwood floors will flex with it as well. And so you don't have to worry about cracking like you do with tile. And it's refinishable.
Yes.
Real hardwood is refinishable, which means...
Because they do get scratched on occasion.
Absolutely. Especially if you have pets.
Yeah.
Especially if you have
pets, or you're moving furniture and people drag it across the floor.
Or you got your Jimmy Choos.
You've got a stone.
Do you know what Jimmy Choos are?
No.
Jimmy Choos, see, he doesn't know. Yeah.
All right. There you go. I don't wear them that often, but...
Well, I'm really glad to hear that, Russ. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be married if you did wear Jimmy Choos very often or at all. But yes, so, your Jimmy Choos might scratch it up. You're dragging, moving furniture in your living room to rearrange because we women love to rearrange our living rooms.
You know the amount of times you picked up a stone in your shoe or something like that, and that scratches the floor, then... but it can be finished out.
Yes. So. You can buff out small areas if it's just a small thing, or you can take a really big thing and have it completely refinished for you.
Yeah.
You can stain them to whatever color you want. You can, and so,
And you can get different types of hardwood. Like most popular are oak, cherry, and maple.
Right.
But you can get others as well.
Yes. And we talked about hardwood. You can actually also have softwood floors. People don't realize that.
Pine and...
Yep. You can have pine and things like that. My parents actually wanted their house to look like antique. Yes. They only built their house just over 25 years ago, but they wanted the house to look like it had been around for centuries. And
it does.
And back in the day, and been around for centuries in a good way, like in a classic way. And so they put in softwood floors throughout their house. Now, the other thing I want to do as a bonus, because you were like, well, no, that's just a finish. And I'm like, yes, but I want to talk about paint, because there are a lot of people out there with old houses like we have, and they don't realize that those old floors where you have mismatched. So in our house, we have hardwood that rims around the outside and then softwood in the center. And the reason for that is because in the early 1900s, they would pay for the expensive looking hardwood on the outside edge, but they knew they were going to put an area rug down and tack it down on the center. They didn't want to pay for hardwood to go throughout the whole house. So they put softwood because it was a lot cheaper to put softwood in the middle. So the centers can be softwood and the edges might be hardwood. What's really cool now, 120, almost 25 years later, is That wood's not in really great shape. It's also, at this point, it's not really even refinishable because it warped, because the house I bought, people didn't maintain it properly at all. And it had kind of warped over time. But in our dining room, we painted it.
Yeah.
We just took a bucket of paint literally and poured it. And what it did was it filled in some of those gaps nicely. And it gave us a surface that I could mop.
Yes.
Because I couldn't mop for... I mean, it took me a year.
I was against it to begin with because I love natural wood.
Yes. But this wood was not nice. It was awful.
It needed refinishing at the very least.
And you could see that it was popped up and a little bit not great looking.
Painting it, I must admit, afterwards, I was really happy with the result.
Yeah, it looked really, really nice.
It did look really,
and we didn't even do a
nice.
great job. So if you have a really old floor that you're going to replace or do something else later on with, but you want a quick fix, paint might be the way to go.
Yeah.
Because it works really well.
We painted ours black.
No, it was gray, dark gray.
Was it?
Yeah, it's like a charcoal.
Oh,
he doesn't know.
Black to me. What do
That's
I
because
know?
everything is black or white.
Good eyesight.
It's like a dark charcoal. But yeah, so paint is one of those great things. And so with a hardwood floor, you can do so many things. And really, it's funny because the span of how much hardwood costs also is smaller. Like in porcelain and vinyl, you can go up to like $20 a square foot easily in tile and beyond, or more.
You can get marble tiles, travertine.
Yep. But if you're just doing like porcelain or ceramic, it's about up to $20. But wood flooring, you pretty much top out at about $15 a square foot.
Yeah.
So it starts a little bit higher at $3, but then that hardwood floor could last you for 50 or 100 years if it's well maintained.
Yeah.
So you would never have to, when we're looking at updating things in our home, we're often looking at, I don't want to ever have to do this again in my lifetime. I don't want to ever have to do out the floors again. I don't want to, so we're going to work on getting a new roof on our house, and we're going to work on getting new siding on our house. Both of those things we're considering options, and flooring as well. I don't want to have to redo this again. And if you do it really well and get something like hardwood
materials first time out.
Yep. And the other thing about
it shows with the hardwood floors, they're not in terrible condition. They're a bit scratched. They could do with refinishing, but they've been there 125 years.
Yep, exactly.
So if they last another 125 years, well, I won't be here to see it.
Right, exactly. It's going to be somebody else's problem to refinish it then. But that's the thing, is with hardwood floors, you can put hardwood floors in, and you may not ever have to even refinish them in your lifetime if you maintain them well.
Yeah.
So you can just do like touch-ups and things. And yeah, that's what makes them
easy to clean if you've got pets and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Easy cleanup for all sorts of messes and spills, and can really take you through from that toddler all the way through your senior years.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys have gotten a lot of good out of this. These are our top 5. Let's recap them really quickly for you. Starting with concrete at number 5, carpet at number 4.
Tile at number 3, and vinyl at number 2.
And then finally,
this week's top one, and number 1 is hardwood floors.
Because we love them. And hopefully we will see you guys again next week. Put a comment below. What's your favorite type of flooring? If you had your druthers, as they say in the South, if you could do your floor however you wanted, and I had to teach Russ that saying. He didn't have a clue what if you had your druthers meant. But if you could do whatever you wanted in your house or in your apartment where you live now, drop us a comment. What floor would be your favorite, your ideal, and would it be one of our top 5? Yeah. And we'll see what the comments say. All right. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.
Bye.